ముగ్గురు నలుగురు ఉన్నారు 1 2 3 4 5 including me 1 2 3 4 1 2 Ashish, your video is not seen. See, I do not have the biodatas of everybody, so please tell about yourself when once the sign on is there. Okay. Vishal, Ashish, Rao. Okay. Ready? ఇంకొక ఆయన మళ్ళీ అడ్మిట్ అవుతాడేమో చూడండి ఒకసారి. See, if anybody goes out, like I have sent the new password. So please use that password and come so that Lalesh need not admit you. Okay. Go via ID number and then new password is given to you. Okay, guys. Goes out, like I have sent the new password. So please use the password and come so that Lalesh need not admit you. Go via ID number and then new password is given. Okay, guys. Sriram, you have backlight, so maybe you have to turn the other way. You are not seen properly. Yeah.
Okay.
You're not fine. Yeah.
Thank you. One second.
Sorry, introduce yourself, and then if there is any party affiliation, you may tell the party affiliation also. Sorry, introduce yourself, and then if there is any party affiliation, you may tell the party affiliation also. So this is in speaker view. So whoever speaks will be seen on the TV. This is in the speaker view. So whoever speaks will be seen on the TV.
Italian of the East. దేశ భాషలను తెలుగు ప్రపంచంలో ఎక్కువ మంది మాట్లాడి అతి ప్రాచీన ద్రవ్య భాష తెలుగు భాష. అలాంటి తెలుగుకి పట్టం కట్టి ప్రపంచ ఖ్యాతి తెచ్చే పని భుజానికి ఎత్తుకున్న సంస్థ పాఠశాల. కష్టపడి కాదు ఇష్టపడేలా చిన్నారులకు తెలుగు నేర్పాలని బృహత్ కార్యాన్ని చేపట్టింది పాఠశాల. ఈ భాషలకి అందించాలని సదుద్దేశంతో పాఠశాలని తనలో విలీనం చేసుకుని ఆధ్వర్యంలో పాఠశాల మరింత కొత్త పుంతలు పాఠశాల ఇప్పుడు అమెరికాలోని అన్ని రాష్ట్రాల్లో అన్ని సెంటర్లలో ఒకే రకమైన విద్యా బోధన అందించబడుతుంది. 2021 సంవత్సరానికి అడ్మిషన్స్ ప్రారంభం. విద్యార్థులు ఆన్లైన్ లో లేదా దగ్గరలోని పాఠశాల సెంటర్ కి వెళ్లి రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సంవత్సరానికి కేవలం $100 మాత్రమే. మరిన్ని వివరాలకు పాఠశాల టీవీ లేదా తానా టీవీ సంప్రదించగలరు. Italian of the East. దేశ భాషలను తెలుగు ప్రపంచంలో ఎక్కువ మంది మాట్లాడి అతి ప్రాచీన ద్రవ్య భాష తెలుగు భాష. అలాంటి తెలుగుకి పట్టం కట్టి ప్రపంచ ఖ్యాతి తెచ్చే పని భుజానికి ఎత్తుకున్న సంస్థ పాఠశాల. కష్టపడి కాదు ఇష్టపడేలా చిన్నారులకు తెలుగు నేర్పాలని బృహత్ కార్యాన్ని చేపట్టింది పాఠశాల. మాతృభాషని భావితరాలకి అందించాలని సదుద్దేశంతో పాఠశాలని తనలో విలీనం చేసుకుంది తానా ఆధ్వర్యంలో పాఠశాల మరింత కొత్త పుంతలు. పాఠశాల ఇప్పుడు అమెరికాలోని అన్ని రాష్ట్రాల్లో అన్ని సెంటర్లలో ఒకే రకమైన విద్యా బోధన అందించబడుతుంది. 2021 సంవత్సరానికి అడ్మిషన్స్ ప్రారంభం. విద్యార్థులు ఆన్లైన్ లో లేదా దగ్గరలోని పాఠశాల సెంటర్ కి వెళ్లి రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సంవత్సరానికి కేవలం $100 మాత్రమే. మరిన్ని వివరాలకు పాఠశాల టీవీ లేదా తానా టీవీ సంప్రదించగలరు. 4000 ఏళ్ల ఘన చరిత్ర. Italian of the East. దేశ భాషలను తెలుగు ప్రపంచంలో ఎక్కువ మంది మాట్లాడి అతి ప్రాచీన ద్రవ్య భాష తెలుగు భాష. అలాంటి తెలుగుకి పట్టం కట్టి ప్రపంచ ఖ్యాతి తెచ్చే పని భుజానికి ఎత్తుకున్న సంస్థ పాఠశాల. కష్టపడి కాదు ఇష్టపడేలా చిన్నారులకు తెలుగు నేర్పాలని బృహత్ కార్యాన్ని చేపట్టింది పాఠశాల. మాతృభాషని భావితరాలకి అందించాలని సదుద్దేశంతో పాఠశాలని తనలో విలీనం చేసుకుంది తానా ఆధ్వర్యంలో పాఠశాల మరింత కొత్త పుంతలు. పాఠశాల ఇప్పుడు అమెరికాలోని అన్ని రాష్ట్రాల్లో అన్ని సెంటర్లలో ఒకే రకమైన విద్యా బోధన అందించబడుతుంది. 2021 సంవత్సరానికి అడ్మిషన్స్ ప్రారంభం. విద్యార్థులు ఆన్లైన్ లో లేదా దగ్గరలోని పాఠశాల సెంటర్ కి వెళ్లి రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సంవత్సరానికి కేవలం $100 మాత్రమే. మరిన్ని వివరాలకు పాఠశాల టీవీ లేదా తానా టీవీ సంప్రదించగలరు. 4000 ఏళ్ల
సార్ రెడీయా సార్?
రెడీ అండి.
ఇది ఒకసారి మీరు ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ తీయండి. ఎవరెవరు మాకు చూద్దాం వచ్చారు అందరూ.
నాది ఫుల్ స్క్రీనా?
అంటే మీరు ఫస్ట్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ చెప్తారు కదా, వెల్కమ్ టు స్పాట్ లైట్ అని.
ఓకే, నేను ఇంట్రో పెట్టాను. నేను ఫస్ట్ ఇంట్రో పెడతాను. ఇంట్రో అయినాక వెల్కమ్ టు స్పాట్ లైట్ అని చెప్పి
ఓకే
Then,
ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఒక్కసారి ఆఫ్ చేయండి స్క్రీన్ షేర్ అంతమంది వచ్చారు చూద్దాం.
okay, stop share. Okay.
ఎక్కువ మంది వచ్చారేంటి?
ఎక్కువ మంది లేదు.
ఆశీష్,
ఆశిష్, మదన్, Bharat, and then Rao. 4. And who is that Vetri?
అది ఫోన్ రొటేట్ చేయండి సార్. అది
Sir, మీరు శ్రీరామ్, నువ్వు ఫోన్ ని you have to rotate. Yeah, you have to put in the landscape mode.
సార్ కృష్ణ గారు, మీరు కొంచెం టిల్అప్ చేయండి. మీరు మిడిల్ లో ఉంది, మీరు కొంచెం పైకి లేవాలి హెడ్.
ఓకే ఓకే. నేను ఇట్లాగనే ఉంటానంటే నేను వెనక్కి చైర్ లో వెనక్కి జారపడ్డాను. దిస్ ఇస్ ఫైన్.
వెట్రి ఎవరండి?
వెట్రీ లేరు, అతను ఎవరో అడ్మిట్ చేయకండి పోనీ, బికాస్ ఈస్ నాట్.
ఓకే, ఆశీష్ వస్తారు కదా మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు?
యా, ఆశిష్. యా,
Vetri is my friend.
ఓకే ఫైన్, దెన్ అడ్మిట్ హిమ్. వెరీ ఈజీ, బట్ హీ ఈస్ నాట్ కమింగ్.
రెడీ కదండి?
రెడీ అండి. నేను ఐ విల్ స్టార్ట్ షేరింగ్ ద స్క్రీన్.
ఓకే,
మీరు కౌంట్ డౌన్ మొదలు పెడతారా?
యా.
2021 సంవత్సరానికి అడ్మిషన్స్ ప్రారంభం. విద్యార్థులు ఆన్లైన్ లో లేదా దగ్గరలోని పాఠశాల సెంటర్ కి వెళ్ళి రిజిస్టర్ చేసుకోవచ్చు.
రెడీ అండి?
రెడీ.
మ్యూట్ లో ఉండండి సార్.
ఓకే
రెడీ? 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cue.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Spotlight. Today, we are focusing on yesterday's presidential debate and who has won. Okay, we are here with we have Rao, Sriram, Ashish, Madan, and Vetri are here. So, guys, please introduce yourself before we begin the show.
Hi, this is Rao Kalwala. I live in Dallas, Texas. I've been in this country for the last 37 years, work for IBM. Currently, I work with the Indian American Friendship Council for the last 15 years, and then with Mahatma Gandhi Memorial. And I have a bipartisan view, but in this election, my views are very much towards Democratic Party. Thank you.
Ramaya.
Yeah, hi. My name is Ramaya Memori, and I have been in USA for more than 20 years. I have been working as a senior software architect in Virginia right now. And I am actually very much interested in this the American politics, and I am very curious, what's going to happen next month, something like that, right? So, yeah, I am very happy to participate in this the chart now, and yeah, let's go ahead and go with the next one.
Okay, Madan.
Hi, my name is Vishal Madan. I'm in this country for last 20 years, and I came as a IT professional. I'm a master in computer science. But after coming here, I realized I live to do my dreams, and I want to do what I love most. I'm actually working as an auxiliary police officer in a local police department here, and enjoying it. That's a volunteer thing. I don't get paid for it, but I do the same as a regular police officer goes through.
Very good.
And I'm a member of East Brunswick Republican Club,
Okay.
New Jersey.
And then Ashish.
Yes, hi guys. My name is Asis Joshi. I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I've been here in USA for more than 25 years now. And one of the passion that I have is I love politics, and I I do like the way this country is set up with the way of capitalism. So I like to go with the Republicans.
Okay. And Vetri? Okay, he's not there. Okay, good evening. Yesterday, you have seen the debate between Kamala Harris and then Mike Pence. You see, both are very skilled debaters, and their debate last night was far easier to watch than the previous week's presidential debate. But there was also a problem with the vice presidential debate. Pence repeatedly makes statements that were either misleading or untrue, and so is Harris. Rather than laying out his honest disagreements with Harris and Joe Biden, be that tax policy, abortion, policing, immigration, environment, or a number of other issues, Pence misrepresented Trump's administration's record and Biden's. And so is Harris. To be clear, both Pence and Harris also engaged in mild overstatement and rhetorical flourishness at times. That's normal in politics. Harris, for example, exaggerated the job losses that President Trump's trade war with China has caused. But Pence was far more honest. At several points, he seemed to want to run on a record that did not exist, and so is Harris. So here are some points that we want to throw and discuss. There is a main argument which has been repeated in the debate that only about the tax breaks that Trump has given and then Biden wants to reduce. So there was a argument between Pence and then Harris stating that from Pence saying that Biden is going to repeal all the taxes that Trump has laid on, whereas Harris kept on saying the taxes will be removed, removed only for the people who are earning more than $400,000 a year. So, guys, your opinion on both of these points. Let us start with Vishal.
Yeah, so I think Vice President Pence said it very clearly. If by any chance Democrats come to power, first thing they're going to do is they're going to repeal the tax law that President Trump brought in. And they said, yes, 425,000, they will tax more. But I can assure you, if they come to power, the country is again going towards socialism. You will see the taxes levied again on people earning more than $150,000. They will be putting taxes on those. And whatever President Trump did here to give the tax credit to the corporates so that they can generate more jobs, that's all going to go in vain. So if they come back, I think in the tax situation, we'll be back to square one, and you will see the same unemployment when corporates will have no money.
Okay, Rao, the other view from the other party.
Yes, I read about that Biden tax plan, and there is a very detailed assessment done on that article between Trump and Biden's. And as Kamala Harris said, Biden is going to increase from 37 to 39 approximately 37 to 39% for the 400K and above, and is not going to touch people who make below 400,000. And I do not see the Biden administration increasing the taxes, and they understand the economy very well more than Trump. Trump never understood US economy. He basically is taking the credit for what Obama has laid out all these years. If you look at the statistics, how the US economy, it's a spillover economic growth of economy under Trump. Trump hasn't done anything to help the current situation with the unemployment and preparedness of COVID. But we will talk that later. But in my view, I have great confidence in Biden's economic plan and his presidency in coming years. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Mr. Ramaya.
Yeah, hi. I mean, if Biden comes, if they are going to repeal all the tax relief benefits, whatever are there in Trump's government, that should be okay if they are going to implement the better ones. But it doesn't look like that, right? So I don't think they are going to implement any better, plans or any better benefits that they're going to give to the other people. So I don't really believe in what the Democrats are really talking about. So I feel that Trump has a very good foreign administration, foreign policies, and Trump has. He basically, what I believe is he exactly tells you what he's going to do. That's what I feel, and basically, the unemployment is, of course, anywhere because of this, like he said, like Mr. Rao said, because due to the COVID situation, right? So it's anywhere. So like he said, we'll come to that point later. But I feel more secure in Trump's government than if Biden comes. Actually, that's what I feel basically.
Okay, thank you, Vishal.
Quick rebuttal I want to ask Mr. Rao. If the Democrats have a plan, if they are not going to raise the taxes, how will they finance that whole new Green Deal thing? You heard about it, right? They want to save the environment and they want to have a new Green Deal, putting trillions of dollars into it. How will they waive the college loans of the students? They have so many things they have promised. If they don't raise the taxes, there is no way. They can't just keep on spending money, right? There is a limit to that. So the question is, how will they fund those programs, what they promised, if they don't raise the taxes?
It's a good question.
Rao, before you go with your answer reply to Vishal, we have Ashish also. I would like to take opinion of Ashish as well.
Sure.
Ashish.
Oh, yes. Hi. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Yes. Right now, as you just say, let's talk only about the tax law. Forget about other topic right now. So regarding the tax law, I do not agree with what my co-friends say regarding Biden, because with Biden tax law, there's no specific things that he has given basically. Now, talking with the Trump was a businessman before.
Ashish,
So
can you check your video, please? There is a problem with your video. Okay, I'm just listening to you, and then your name is appearing. Okay, otherwise continue, and you can check once your turn is over.
Okay, can you see? Okay.
Not yet. You go ahead with this turn. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were discussing about Trump. Actually, Trump is a businessman. Before coming to politics, he was in business and he was in real estate. So at that time, when he was in real estate, people used to like him a lot. And now suddenly, when he jumped in the politics, people say, oh, Trump is this, Trump is that. No, Trump is doing something good for the country. What has Biden done in 47 years with the tax law? Nothing at all, basically. Trump has done at least something. So we have to look at all that scenario. And as that Madan said before in the beginning, this is a capitalist country. We cannot go from capitalist to socialism. And I think Biden is trying to do that. So I am totally with Trump on tax law. By doing the corporate tax cut, he is trying to make sure that people can get more job, because only business people or only corporate people can create more job. So I think what he is doing, he is going in the right way.
Okay, thank you. Rao, you can go ahead answering Madan.
Yes. Actually, if you allow me to talk about this whole situation we are in, we need to consider the COVID situation where we are today. We only know little bit. Still, it's not optimistic. Not listening to Trump, listening to the scientists, and we are not going to have a cure until end of 2021. by then this country is going to spend trillions of dollars just to hold the breath. And anything after that, for us to even to recover, it takes tremendous amount of economy growth through our businesses. And if you see today, there in the last 2-3 weeks, 3,500 businesses like Tesla, Home Depot, Target, various businesses filed a lawsuit against Trump for raising the tariffs with China 25%. In this downturn, raising the tariffs is going to increase the cost of the goods in this country on a $300 billion goods, and people will not be able to afford, and the companies will not be able to sell, and it's going to further damage the economy. So Trump is breaking this country economically, socially, and as far as the Biden and all, they're still watching what is that they have the plans, what they do based on today may not work. It is that we need to wait until that COVID is going to settle down and look into that, what need to be done and how we can diplomatically establish the relationship with China. We cannot pull China overnight. We are buying $500 billion worth of goods from China. Our economy is greatly depending. 90% of the medicine comes from China. We cannot just shut it down. People will die. So those are my.
Yeah, we will come to China factor a little later, Mr. Rao.
Yes, sir.
And an extension on this taxation and then taxes. There was a question, there was an argument between Harris and then Pence about the Trump's tax of $750, and then Harris tried to exclaim that, oh, it's not 750,000, it is $750 only. So there is a lot of exclamation. And then Pence said that Trump pays and paid millions of dollars as taxes. So, and one side, the CNNs and things like that, they want people to believe that Trump did not pay tax, whereas on the other argument is Trump pays tax. And then can anybody justify about this $750 of tax? Go with the Vishal.
Yeah, so I will just say a simple thing, Chris. This 750, who gave this number? It came from a New York Times report. Did IRS publish it? No. You know how is the relationship between President Trump and media. New York Times, CNN, they want to say whatever they want to. Is there a credible proof? Did IRS come out and said that Trump paid 750? No, right? But we all know that for last 3-4 years, President Trump did not take a single penny as a salary, which was supposed to be 400,000 every year. So he has already said million plus there, right? But what's the proof of the 750? Is the tax return out? No, Supreme Court has put a lock on that. What's the proof of the 750? It's just media report. I will say it's nothing more than that.
Okay, Ramaya.
Yeah, actually, I agree with him. Actually, there is no proof. People come up just come up with the numbers. They say like 99%. They just randomly they throw just numbers. I believe that there's no proof, and it is just like just throwing numbers, just something like that.
Okay, I think we will take one more Republican view before ask the same question to Rao. We have Madan Ashish.
Yes, I totally agree with Madan, what he said. Here is the thing. If you know how USA is work and how the capitalists work, first and foremost thing, $750 that they are talking about, that is like a gimmick. That make me laugh. When you are in real estate, you should know the tax laws and rules, right? There are always a tax loopholes and everything. So people who has invested in business and who has invested in real estate, they always get a tax breaks, tax law. Like for example, if I take some 5 or 6 rental property, I am 100% sure I will get so much, not so much, but I will get a tax break where I don't have to pay anything. So I think this is all made up by the New York Times and CNN and MSNBC. $750 is a joke, according to me.
Okay. Now, Rao, you can defend or offend this statement.
Yes. I don't know if our colleagues have updates, been following the news in the last 2 days. New York District Attorney has got the permission to get the tax returns, and Trump is trying to block that very vehemently. Is not telling the numbers. At least it would be good if he can share the numbers, how much he has paid. They say millions, but tell me what is tax? As a president, he has a responsibility to answer to this country of 330 million people. Be truthful. And also you need to understand Trump's business has a 500 business entities under Trump organization. And he also got 3,500 lawsuits in the last 20 years. So his business is a lot of unethical business practices. And I strongly believe he's evading the taxes, and he's also blocking the law. And I hope there will be some justification on these tax returns.
Okay, thank you. Before closing this topic, I would like to make comments. I think the similar question or the same question was asked to Trump in the presidential debate. He said that he got a lot of tax credits. The tax credits were rather formulated by previous Democratic governments, which means like even if he makes, let's say, for example, $100,000, and if there are 99,250 tax credits, he would end up in paying only 750. He clearly said he got a lot of tax credits for his hotel in Washington itself. So as Rao also is saying that district attorney got permission, but nobody has disclosed any number. So let us leave it. And then at this point of time, let's not believe it is 150 or millions of hundreds and millions of dollars. Okay, let's leave this topic at this stage and we will go on to the next topic. It is the next argument that both the parties were vehemently arguing is about the healthcare insurance. Pence says, okay, Harris says that a lot of people went away from insurance, whereas Pence says nothing happened. And Harris says, if Trump's policy, if the Obamacare is removed, a lot of people will go uninsured and people are fighting to keep it. Whereas Pence says that people with pre-existing conditions clause is not removed. So therefore, your opinion, guys, what will happen if in the Supreme Court, Obamacare is repealed? What the statement said by both the parties, either wrong or right? Starting with Rao.
Yes, in the given condition, COVID condition, and also the side effects, and even after that, the millions of people, as you see, are going to suffer if they do not have a coverage. And even the middle class families, whatever the savings they have, they're going to wipe it out. So Obamacare should not be touched at this time. If at all, take that care and make some improvements to make it fit for the common public. And this is not about socialism. This is about the humanity. If you can't consider immigrants like us coming to this country, taking all the opportunities, we need to have big hearts to think about these people on the who do not have a health coverage. And this is a big problem in this country. So Biden is the right person to restore or enhance Obamacare. And if the Republicans, Trump and Pence, are going to destroy the immigration insurance system and risk the lives of millions of people. They are already risked with this COVID-19, not acting in act in spite of the warnings given by the federal government. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody want to reply to Rao?
I will. So first of all, respectfully, Mr. Rao, let's not mix the COVID situation with Obamacare, because you know that if in COVID situation somebody is on a deathbed or emergency, hospital is not going to ask for the insurance. You know how the things work in this country. They're going to first treat the person and then we'll talk about insurance. So Obamacare and COVID situation, I don't think they have a correlation. Second thing, Obamacare or Affordable Care Healthcare Act is not as affordable as we think. You might have seen in Obamacare time also, when somebody goes outside to buy the Obamacare without the employer, I can tell you in New Jersey, it costs for a family of 4 between $1,000 and $1,500. That's not, I will tell
It's more, in fact, it's more if you want to get a decent insurance.
But what Democrats want is they want to push this country to the far left socialist agenda where the healthcare is state paid. Now, go to Europe, go to Canada. I can tell you personal experiences where you don't have to pay for the healthcare state paid. But to get a simple appointment, you have to wait weeks in line. If you want to go to the simple doctor for a fever, you can only go to emergency line, because if you call them and tell them you have a fever, no, it's a state paid healthcare. The state doctor work on a certain time only. So all the time for every smallest thing, you have to go to the emergency. So there are pros and cons to both the things. If you want to go towards that state paid healthcare, this is not going to work in the capitalist country. Now, as far as Obamacare is concerned, yes, there are flaws with it, and it's not as affordable as projected by Democrats. And let's keep the COVID situation separate, because that's a national emergency that is treated totally different.
Very good. Thank you. Ashish, your reply. Ashish?
Well, yes. Well, with the healthcare, I do agree. I mean, if we go with Obamacare, we are talking about far left thing, and they are not saying that they're going to repeal the whole Obamacare. They're going to just make some changes. And I think what they are doing, I totally agree with them that we need to get some changes in Obamacare. Because as just Vishal Madan mentioned about the things that what type of services they get in other countries, that is true. And we don't want something like that over here. And reply to Raoji, yes, some people don't get healthcare, but you have to understand, people here don't want to work and want to get everything free. We as immigrants are working hard, okay? People who are not working hard, they want everything free. We cannot keep on giving them free stuff. And that is what all about Republican Party is.
Okay. Ramaya.
That it's all about.
Yeah. 1 second, sir. There is one more person. I think we are debating better than the presidential or vice presidential debate. Everybody is following rules. Okay, Ramaya.
Yeah. Actually, first of all, again, we have to treat this COVID situation and healthcare plans and these two different entities, right? So we let us not better mix up with these two things. And actually, until Obamacare, whatever, right? So basically, we used to pay just a couple of $100 for healthcare, like, as a normal, common, immigrant here. After Obama came, after care, whatever, right? So they are going to charge thousands of dollars for better plans, right? Healthcare plans. I definitely agree with you guys. For like 10 to 15% of people, they definitely got benefited through Obamacare. But definitely, yes, that's a good plan for some category of people, right? But at the same time, like Penn said, they are if they are going to repeal it, they're going to implement better plans, better healthcare plan for in case in the place of Obamacare. Definitely they'll do something for the people. I definitely believe they're going to do better.
Okay, my final remarks on this one before moving on to the next topic is that President Trump has signed an executive order to include the pre-existing conditions. So therefore, whatever Democrats are stating or fearing about is not going to be there. And then Trump and then the Republican Party claims that the new healthcare will be cheaper. And let's see what's going to happen when it goes to Supreme Court. And let's move on to the next topic about COVID and China. Let us first talk about COVID. Okay, the claim is that most people are thinking that Trump hasn't handled the COVID effectively as he should have. The moderator question is about the same, whereas Harris, she has tried to defend from the Democratic point of view. Trump did nothing, while Pence has stated whatever he has to state from the government point of view, and also stated that the vaccination is around the corner and it is approaching very fast. It's clinical trials, it's in the clinical trials 3, and then soon there will be vaccine. And then Trump is on the other side demonstrating, okay, don't worry about COVID. I went to hospital, I came and I'm fine and I'm doing well. And then don't let the COVID continue. So in this connection, you tell us, our audience, who is right? Either Harris is right or Pence is right. Let us start with now Rao.
Yes, it's a good question. I've been following on this topic quite for some time, as what she said yesterday, that our National Security Administration have warned, give Trump very heads up on this COVID-19 situation in China, much ahead. And Trump told the National Security Administration, we do not want to bring this up at this time. And he was very much worried about is a presidential race, how this is going to impact. He did not understand the magnitude and seriousness of this problem, even though they briefed several times. And then he waited until the last minute, and we were so unprepared about that. We all know that we didn't even have masks to deal the situation or variant medical help. And then he had to go to China, and he brought plane loads of help from China to address the issue. And then sorry, what is your other question, Krishna? Connected with the COVID situation.
Yeah, whether Trump has done it right, as Pence put it, or as Harris put it, Trump hasn't done anything right.
Okay, so yeah, now I remember. In terms of the vaccine, he put us in the dark when rest of the world, all the medical experts, particularly recently, 2 weeks ago, WHO chief scientist, Soumya Swaminathan, I think, she made it very clearly articulated that vaccine takes certain trials, certain defined requirements, and vaccine needs to work long-term. We cannot afford to have a vaccine that works short-term, and then we need to go and keep developing it. So if we had known this much early on, our scientists, our pharmaceutical companies would have cut down the time and would have saved 200,000 lives, 210,000 lives. We would have been prepared very well. But the vaccination is, even today, is lying and keeping people in dark about that cure that he took. And the people are very skeptical about that medication. And he need to be truthful to the country and to the world. And as a president, at this time, just before the election, he cannot be lying to the people. That's my view.
Okay, thank you. Ramaya?
Yeah, first of all, keeping us in dark and lying to the people, basically, like these two are two different things. Like it's like a ultra modern era is coming, right? So in this age, basically, in this era, keeping somebody in dark is is kind of a joke. Nobody is kept in dark, right? So that's what I feel. Basically, is lying. When you said it's lying means right. You said just before elections he's lying. It's not good, right? So that means I don't understand if he's lying or not. Okay. The other thing is basically, for name's sake, it is 50 United States. But if you think like every state has its own government, right? So initially, like Trump says one thing, and each and every state says something else, something different, right? So if Trump says, okay, hey, let us continue lockdown, okay, let us keep the situation safe, something like that. Who cares? Nobody cares. Like in New York, people, they just go out left and right, and Florida, people like hang out at the beaches, and in the California, like nobody cares, right? So it's all 50 United States, but every state has its own government. So if you ask me if Trump did a good job or bad job, the question is left to the people, basically. Like okay. It is not in his hands Okay, finally, I don't know, like the lockdown and the economy, they should go in hand. Like you know,
Okay.
if you lock down the country for so many months, so many years, like you know, so the economy is also very important, right? So that's what I feel basically.
Thank you. You made a very good point, Ramya. I'll come back to that point of states and then things like that later. Now we'll go on to Vishal.
Yes, so let's go back to January. Mr. Rao was telling like President Trump made a mistake of not understanding the gravity of situation. Tell me, sir, in January this year, who could have thought that we will be in this situation? There are so many viruses, you know, they come and go. Nobody would have known other than astrologer that this virus is going to be so deadly. So I will not say Mr. President just thought about the election in Jan-Feb and he just said, okay, don't worry about it. No, that was not the case. Actually, in Jan and or Feb beginning itself, he actually stopped all the travel to China. That was the first thing where Democrats were actually criticizing him. Mr. Biden was actually criticizing him, telling like, oh, why he has blocked the travel. You can see that now, how that has helped. Instead of 200,000, it may have been in millions. But that's one. Second thing is about the vaccine. I think all of us might have read something about it. In March itself, when we started the peak actually, Moderna started developing the vaccine and with the help of federal government. And you know, vaccine development is a process of like 5 to 7 years with phase 3 time. Now we are gonna get a vaccine in 1.5 to 2 years. What else we expect here? This is the record time we will have a vaccine for any disease like that in maybe 1.5 years. I don't know what else we expect here. I think, yes, there are some things could have been done better. Yes, there is always a room for debate, but I think what the government did was absolutely best they could have done. And just adding to Mr. Bara's point, yes, there is always a fine trade-off between a lockdown and economy. If you just lock down everything, what Mr. Biden was saying, for 4, 5, 6 months, you see where we will go. You will be losing like 50, 60 million jobs by now, and people will die because of hunger, not just because of COVID. So it's always a fine balance between lockdown and economy. And you can see that probably that's working in India too in the same way.
Thank you. And then Mr. Ashish.
Yes, regarding COVID-19, my views are almost the same like Madanji. Here's the thing, Rauji. Before COVID-19 even started, we were in our best economic phase that USA can ever have, okay? And COVID-19 is not in Trump's hand at all. Actually, if you notice something, he was the only guy who said that, okay, let's don't lock down anything and open in Easter. But because of lot of pressures, he could not open in Easter. So you cannot close the country for so long. Just because we have a right to print money, Biden cannot say, oh, close the country for 5, 6 months and we can keep on printing money and give them the money. Other thing is, you have to understand, go to the CDC website itself. Every year, 35 to 45,000 people die because of flu. Do they close the country? Did it come in the news? Do they make a big news? No. Those are the things never comes up, right? And now for this thing, when Trump has done what he's supposed to do, people are questioning. They should not question. Listen, if Trump don't become a president, for example, still he can make more than $400,000 in his real estate. That is not the thing. He is there to do something for the country. And yes, other last thing that I want to point quickly is understand, where do you see more numbers? Only on those states which are democratic control. Why? So there are a lot of things that has never been answered. So I guess that's about it for me right now. For
okay,
COVID.
thank you. My point is one of the point made by Ramya is that the states, there are 50 different states and then nobody listens to Trump. And then I want to make a statement. Trump is the most strongest weak president in the world. In the sense like he's strong enough, but he cannot impose anything on the state. And so are the states. A state cannot impose anything on a township. And a township, a municipality cannot impose anything on its own township. and the township cannot impose anything on its citizens. So this is what freedom they talk about. And then the freedom is being misused. Okay, this is what it is. And then one of the reasons for COVID getting more cases here in America, apart from its own natural resource, natural things that are around America. And now let's go one by one topic, and we have 20 minutes of time. Quickly, one thing is China. One of the questions asked to Trump and then Biden, Harris and Pence is that, is China a partner, adversary, or a friend? Okay, starting with Rao. Quickly, maybe one. Yeah, you have 1 minute.
Yes. So between US and China, there are always three levels of relationship. One is the business relationship, which is the strongest, and the political relationship, and the military relationship. So the political relationship during the Trump has been very, very weak, and he's ever since he came, he has the political relationship has suffered drastically, and he raked the relationship so badly that it's India. He put the India in between these two. China warned India several times. This issue is between US and China, not India, and Trump put India in between. These are all written by experts in the US. If you look at the Foreign Policy magazine, very clearly written that. So Trump is in this situation. It's for the best interest of US, because our dependency cannot be taken out overnight. This matured manufacturing takes decades to develop that capability in India, in US. And if you pull out of that, if China pulls off that, particularly on the pharma, 90% of pharma in this country comes from China. And we cannot risk that. And economy, we cannot risk that. And then because of that, China has become very strong and expressing all the tantrums. And we are looking at that only the effect. We are not looking at the
I'm asking you, do you agree with Harris stating that China is a friend and then Trump is spoiling? And then I want you to tell their point is right or wrong, whether Harris' point is right or Pence point is right.
Harris' point is right, and based on these reasons, what I just explained.
Thank you so much. And then Madan.
Yeah, so I think there is nothing right and wrong. It's all relative, how you see it. Basically, China is a very complicated thing, more than me. Everybody knows that. Now, the thing is, a country sent a virus, and if in the same country, you are allowing the pharmaceuticals to manufacture everything, what's the guarantee that we'll not have a COVID 2020 or COVID 21? Let's start with the business relationship. All the trade deal with China, what you said, with Mr. President said that the US was being ripped off for so many years, and all the manufacturing jobs were going to China. The whole idea is, in the business relationship, there was a big trade deficit, and the plan is to fill that in and bring the jobs back from China. That's the fundamental of Republican Party and Mr. President, that bring the jobs back to America, make America great again, America first policy. So if we follow that policy in the business terms, China is nowhere. We don't want all the manufacturing jobs to go there. That's the fundamental difference between Democrats and Republicans.
So you agree with Trump, Pence?
If you want America first and you keep sending all of your jobs to China, it does not make any sense. That's on the business side. Let's come to the other side, you want to call military. US and China never had any military cooperation. Actually, they are true enemies if you look at that angle basis. China, you see what China is doing in the South China Sea, right? And US has a proper plan to combat them in that area by counterbalancing India and other powers. But that's on the military side. But I can tell you, China is not a friend on the military terms.
Thank you.
Yes, we have to deal with China and bring the jobs back, bring the manufacturing back to our country.
Sriram.
We agree with the Vice President what he said.
Thank you. Sriram.
Yeah, I see very shortly, like I see the business relation. America has a business relation with China, right? So, of course, China has a business relations with other countries and all over the world, right? So, China is a friend, and Trump is spoiling it. That's a big joke kind of thing, actually. So, I don't really agree for that, actually.
Okay, thank you. My comments on this is China is imperialistic ideas of G, and then it is trying to invade countries, and then I do not know. There is in the movies we see some villains and heroes in the James Bond movies, especially. They want to rule the world, and China has gotten to its head that it wants to rule the world. Possibly, it may try to topple United States of America, like United States of America topple erstwhile USSR. So unless we are careful at this point of time, we will become prey into the China's hands. Let us go to our next topic. Okay. The statement about who is supporting who. Let us talk about the violence in the name of peaceful protest. And then none of the democratic leaders have mentioned about that there is violence in the country. While the statement about Trump, on either side, very fine people are there, is taken out of context and then being put in. That's what Pence explained. Whereas Harris still says, no, Trump is racist. And then he says Proud Boys. So guys, who is right in this aspect? Whether Democrats who did not say in 4 days of Democratic National Convention about the existence of violence, and then who always said there is peaceful protest, or Trump says, okay, there are Proud Boys. Okay, who is right and who is wrong in this state and in this thing? Ramaya.
Yeah, violence. If you talk in terms of violence, right? Like, if you see the cases since 2000, like, let's say, which I know basically, like, 2001, the sniper attack. He used to kill one guy a day in 2001. Somebody, right? So that is other than that, like, if you see the huge massacre in Virginia Tech, or if you see the somewhere in Los Angeles, there is a huge massacre, right? So, I mean, the violence is there all the time, not just in Trump's government, right? So that is not absolute. I mean, people, they can accuse for any small things, right? So, Trump didn't ask the policeman to kill, black people, right? So it's not his mistake, it happened. It happened like it happened in anybody's government. So that is totally, like accused. So that is, I don't really go with that, actually.
Okay, Rao?
Yes. So unfortunately, including we and the politicians, we are only talking about the protests and the violence in the streets. We are not looking at what exactly is the root cause of these people to be disturbed and to become violent. And this issue has been suppressed or hidden for decades and decades. Since I've been here in early 80s, I have seen, we are under the impression that the civil rights and all that are getting better. The only reason we Indians in this country, because they have sacrificed quite a bit for the decades. I don't know if you guys know, in 60s, we were not even allowed to go to some of the restrooms or restaurants, a lot of areas. And today, what we are today is because of the civil rights that were changed, the laws and policies quite a bit. And whites, and if you look at the younger generation, they have so much of respect for each other, interracial marriages, and all those things. That's the reason why this younger generation are getting hurt. Even the Indian kids are getting hurt in this situation. So this need to be addressed by both the parties, put aside about the violence and this protest. Think about it. How can we come together? End of the day, out of the 330 million people, there are close to 100 million people are so-called minorities, more than that. And they need to be, whether you call it socialism or whatever label you put, they need to be addressed, and they need to be built for the benefit of this country. If you ignore them, and we lose the superpower. And that is my view holistically. And the Biden administration, I think
sir, we have 2 minutes before we close the show, and then I want everybody be given chance. Madan,
please go ahead.
Just I would like to add 2 lines here. It's my favorite topic because I'm from the law enforcement. I was on the streets actually when the protests were happening in New Jersey, so I can give you my perspective. But before I do that, I kind of agree with Mr. Rao about the history of this country. Some things are deep rooted here, which probably I may not understand. Mr. Rao knows more than me. But What is the solution for that? Governments will change. Do you think government is the only solution for that? No. I think it is the African American community. They have to lift themselves. They have to educate themselves. They have to come, get the jobs. Then only you can get the permanent solution. Now let's come to the protest. Whatever happened in George Floyd case was totally wrong. The officer has been charged. He's behind the bar. Law is taking his own course. But tell me one thing. In the name of protest, doing the rioting and defunding the police and all those things, are they fair? Yes, you talk about defunding the police. You see what happened in NYPD. NYPD $1 billion budget was cut. Now every weekend there is 100 shootings in New York City. And people are again protesting, saying that send the police on the street. So tell me, is the defunding the police gonna work? No. So the thing is, yes, whatever happened in George Floyd and other cases, that was wrong. But at the same time, we cannot have lawlessness on the streets. You know, all of us know that. What is the beauty of this country, right? The order, the law and order. That's the best in the whole world. So if we have law.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for interrupting. I need Ashish to have his remarks.
Yes, my final remarks on this violence are actually what Vishal just mentioned. Again, it's the same thing. Yes, what happened to George Floyd was wrong, but there can be a peaceful protest, okay? They did not do peaceful protest. So I think coming to the question that Krishna ji asked, yes, I agree, it's democratic. They are not trying to control this violence. And it is happening only in democratic governor states only. And they should have took the action right in the beginning. Why did they wait for so long? And still as of today, New York, Chicago, Wisconsin, look all those states, what's happening. So the governor has to step up. And when Trump is trying to help them out, they don't want to do anything. So I think this is going against Democrat.
Okay, so finally, I would like to take your opinion from in yesterday's debate. Who won? Starting with Ashish, you are there on the line.
Well, in yesterday's debate, I can say 50-50, nobody won according to me. There were some good points done by Pence, but in the meanwhile, as Attorney General for California, she also did some good point too. So according to me, it was even.
Nice. And then Vishal?
I will give an edge to Vice President Pence because I think he was more clear on his views, and I felt Senator Harris was a little bit arrogant in that sense, and she was trying to defend some things which she even doesn't believe. So I'll give an edge to Vice President Pence. And
Sriram?
I believe Vice President Pence, kind of, took, over, Kamala Harris. That's what I believe.
Okay, Rao, finally, you can say your remarks.
Yes. Yesterday, it was 60-40. Harris won by 60 points and Pence 40 points. And my final remarks is that we need to look at this country holistically. And there are certain issues that have been, for a long time, they're pushed under the rug. And you cannot push issues under the rug. And they need to be addressed in timely manner. They were not addressed, particularly the social issues and then the health issues. And then now it's hurting unemployment. Particularly even before COVID-19, there were a lot of college graduates who didn't have jobs sitting at home, and they need to be retrained, skilled, and we are sending millions of jobs outside, and they need to be bring back in a manner that is economy will not hurt. And I see that leadership. I do not see that leadership in Trump. He is always in a reactive mode. He tells something and he does not show any results. We think that he is doing, and if you look at it, what he has said versus what really happened, there's a big difference. And this is not just me. If you look at reputable magazines, they all write about it. So I strongly believe that I have given I voted for Trump in the first election, given an opportunity, but I would like to see Biden administration to come and build this nation.
I just want to make one statement,
Sure.
Just one statement. He
Sure.
said,
Sure. We have 2 minutes. You guys can go one more round, okay? Go ahead, Sriram.
Yeah, actually, he said like he didn't see any leadership in Trump's, in Trump, right? So basically, like, Trump was not at all a politician. Long time ago, he was maybe in Democrats for a short period of time, right? So he was not a politician, and he joined politics, right? And amazingly, he won with a good majority. And this all happened, based on his leadership, basically. Okay, because he didn't have any political background, any political history. Okay, because he's a great leader, that's why people elected him. That's what I feel.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Trump is a great leader if you talk about a leader. And as far as racism is concerned, that was deep rooted. No government can solve it. You can go back to President Obama's time. You can see that how many killings happened at that time also. It's not like at that time was free of these racial killing. So that is something community has to come up. But as far as the leadership is concerned, President Trump has given a great leadership to the country. And I hope he'll continue for the next 4 years too.
Okay.
Yeah, just quick remark compared to Biden, Rao sir. Here is the thing: Biden been there for 47 years compared to Trump 3.5 years. So look at that scenario also. So in 3.5 years, I think Trump has achieved more than what Biden has even done in 47 years. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Viewers, tomorrow we will come up with another edition wherein the New Jersey Congressional District 11 candidate from the Republican Party, Miss Rosemary Beakey is interviewed. Please watch the show tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks everyone. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
He left the meeting. అరే జంకు మాట్లాడారు నువ్వు నన్ను మాట్లాడమంటావు